Hey, this is Drew Davis. This video is for class FTT 210, week 7 assignment. Brought it to my shop today because I don't want to make another mess in my office with all the sanding that's about to go down. So anyhow, I got the rifle set up. I'm gonna shape this forend. I'm gonna shape this forend down so it'll match up with the nose cap. And I've already measured and centered the nose cap here, so I'm going to punch it, drill it, countersink it, and then I'm going to set that up on here, get it tapped in to the front end of the rifle, and get this thing shaped. So I'm going to get started on drilling, and I'll come back when I got something to tell you. All right, so I got this drilled and countersunk, and my screws are going to fit in there nice and flush. So I'm going to put this back on the forend and get this drilled and tapped. All right, so I just want to make sure these screws are nice and vertical, so I'm going to go ahead and use my handy dandy drill press. Good to go. Got those put in, seated real nice up against the stock there. Looking pretty good. Okay, well, now that I got my nose cap on there, I'm going to go ahead and shape the front end of this thing. So I've laid out some lines here that I'm going to work down, and I'm just going to slowly taper this out. And that's going to bring me to about, I don't know, my blend will finally stop about here. So it's still leaving a lot of meat on this thing. I ain't gonna worry about it being too thin, but I think it'll just make it look a little classier. So just to make the aesthetics of the rifle a little nicer, I'm gonna make this nice gentle transition out, and I'm gonna get started on that now. Okay, I got one side. I got the rough taper in here. The other side is still factory, so this is kind of what I'm looking for. I've got it just about down to the nose cap here, and then when I get the other side sanded down, I'm going to pull the nose cap and I'm going to finish shaping it down. And I'm probably going to try to do something with this. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about that yet. I'd like to shape this so it cleans up the nose cap on the bottom side too, but I don't know, some things probably better left alone. The book says to be cautious about that because in the thimble here, you might get into the thimble and lose some rigidity, and I don't want to do that. So that's to be determined, but anyhow. Okay, so I got this roughed in there, and I have noticed that the brass nose cap on this side is a little finer at the top, and it's a little wider on this side. So I'm gonna do my best to shape this down to where it doesn't look too different. I'm gonna do my best to kind of round it down, because luckily once it kind of comes down the side here, the width on the sides are the same, but up top here it gets a lot thinner on this side of the brass. So I'm going to do my best to shape this out and keep it as even as I can up top. But I got the taper rubbed in on both sides now. I measured it out on both sides, and this line was off by a little bit, so I just stuck to keeping it even, so it's nice and even, and it's a nice taper on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and probably pop that nose cap now after I trace it and work that front end right. Alright, so I decided to go ahead and round this front end out. So this is just kind of getting started on this. Grab this. So getting close, but I think just rounding that out a little is going to make that look a whole lot better than just having that hard edge. So I'm going to keep on working on this, and I'll bring it back when I'm done. Alright, well, I got this shaped down, and now the stock matches up really nicely with the brass here. Toe cap, and I think it looks really good. I like it being a little rounded like that versus completely vertical. Had to disassemble it and pull Carl to do that, but I think that looks pretty darn good. So I'd say I am about 90% done here. I got it all roughed in. Got the nice taper coming in towards the toe cap here, and I got it rounded out on both sides. So now I'm going to go ahead and start doing some final sanding. Well, now that I got the taper on the foregrip done, I'm going to go ahead and sand this down and get that nice and flushed out on the top. So I went ahead and pulled the lock out, get this out of the way, and get back to work. Alright, I got that filed down and sanded down, and it's nice and flat and flush. Now I'll actually get started on doing some final sanding. So I got my nice flats on the sides here, on the top. nice and flat here along the rail and rounded on the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this back apart now and yeah, do some more sanding. Okay, I got this inlet. Looks really nice. Got it nice and flush. Got the back end nice and flush. Got that bad boy all nice and rounded out and shaped. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this thing, and I'm going to go across it and sand it down, and then I'm going to wet it, heat it, and sand it some more. Okay, so I saw that you're not supposed to use power sander for the final sanding and blending, so I'm just going to use, I got some sanding blocks here with different grits. I'm going to use that and start knocking this thing down and getting it prepped. Alright, so I did the 120 grit sandpaper over the entire stock, got it nice and smooth, and made sure I kept all my flats nice and flat, and all my rounds are nice and round. So I'm going to go ahead and start wetting it, and I got a heat gun here, so I can wet it, heat it, and then I'm gonna hit it with some 220 because I don't have any 180, but I got some 220. That was pretty cool. I had no idea that wetting it and heating it would raise that fiber like that. That's pretty neat because you can really feel it. So now this is super smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and do the whole thing and maybe do it again and maybe do it again until the fibers stop raising. So I'll be back when I'm all done. Okay, so I ended up doing the wet and heat about 4 times on the entire weapon, and now this stock is buttery smooth, and I still got nice and sharp lines around my flats, and I got most of that inletting cleaned up, so I should be good to go. Turned out pretty good. I didn't have any big dents to pull out. I ended up actually being able to just get everything out with the sandpaper. I didn't have any dents that I needed to use steam on, but it's looking really nice.